Have you ever loved someone so much that the thought of them betraying you felt like a physical impossibility, like gravity suddenly deciding to work in reverse? That's how I felt about Jessica. Standing here in the cold, sterile quiet of our Lincoln Park brownstone, the silence is louder than any argument we ever had. I'm looking at the framed photo on the mantelpiece, the one from our wedding at the Chicago Botanic Garden. Her smile, so radiant it could outshine the sun, but it was all a lie. A beautiful, soul-crushing lie. And the first crack in that perfect facade appeared in the most mundane place imaginable, the odometer of her car. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. It started subtly. A late night here. A forgotten errand there. Jessica, my wife of 10 years, was a partner at a big law firm downtown. Long hours were part of the deal. I never questioned it. Why would I? We had a life people dreamed of. But then the excuses started getting creative. Girls' night in Wicker Park. A client dinner in River North. A weekend conference in Lake Geneva. I was the supportive husband, the one who'd have dinner waiting, who'd listen to her vent about billable hours and demanding clients. I was a fool. The first real alarm bell was a text message I saw by accident. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen island, screen facing up. A name I didn't recognize. Mark, with a simple message. Tonight was incredible. My heart hammered against my ribs. I confronted her, my voice shaking. She laughed it off. Oh, Mark. Just a new associate. We were all celebrating a big win for the firm. You're being so paranoid, honey. She kissed my cheek, her lips cold, and the condescension in her eyes made me feel small, pathetic. I wanted to believe her. God. I wanted to believe her so badly that I forced myself to. But the seed of doubt had been planted. I started noticing things. The way she guarded her phone like it held state secrets. The receipts I'd find in her coat pocket from bars I knew her friends didn't frequent. One was from the Violet Hour on North Damen, a place she claimed to hate, she said a client insisted. The story was plausible, but it felt thin. The real turning point was the car. A brand new Audi Q5, my 10th anniversary gift to her. She'd claimed to be at a yoga retreat in Naperville for the weekend. A round trip from our place is about 60 miles, maybe 70 with a stop for coffee. But when she got home, I took the keys to move it into the garage. Out of a morbid gut-twisting curiosity, I checked the trip meter. It read 214 miles. My blood ran cold. Where had she gone? I started a spreadsheet. It felt insane, obsessive, but I couldn't stop. Date her stated location, estimated mileage, actual mileage. Every week the numbers told a story her words tried to hide. A quick trip to the Oak Brook Mall that somehow added 150 miles. A conference at the Hyatt Regency downtown, just a few miles away, that magically clocked in at over 100. The numbers never lied. And they were screaming that my wife was living a double life. Her behavior grew colder as my suspicion grew. The loving touches vanished, replaced by dismissive pats on the shoulder. Our conversations became transactional, like business meetings. She'd look at me with a mixture of pity and annoyance, as if my very presence was an inconvenience. She and this mystery man, Mark, were getting bold, arrogant. They felt untouchable. I'd hear her on the phone in the other room, her voice dropping to a seductive whisper, punctuated by giggles that were never meant for me. The humiliation was a physical weight, pressing down on my chest until I could barely breathe. The breakdown happened on a Tuesday. I found a hotel receipt in her gym bag, Peninsula on East Superior Street. For a 2-night stay, I'd been out of town visiting my sick mother. I called the hotel, my voice a strangled whisper, pretending to be her assistant. Hi, just confirming a past booking for Jessica Miller. Can you tell me if there was a second guest listed on the room for the 14th and 15th? The polite voice on the other end confirmed it. Yes, sir, the reservation was for 2 adults. Mr. Mark Renshaw was the second guest. The name hit me like a punch to the gut. Mark Renshaw, a senior partner at her firm, married with 3 kids. I'd met him at company Christmas parties. He'd shaken my hand, clapped me on the back, and told me how lucky I was to have a wife like Jessica. The hypocrisy was breathtaking. I hung up the phone and fell to my knees in our empty kitchen, the cold tile pressing against my face as I sobbed. Not just cried, but wailed. A raw, animal sound of pure agony. The man I was, the loyal, trusting husband, died on that kitchen floor. When I finally stood up, something new and hard had taken his place. The grief was still there, but it was now encased in ice. My sadness turned to strategy. My pain became my fuel. I wasn't just going to leave her. I was going to dismantle the life she had built on a foundation of lies. For the next 6 months, I became a ghost in my own home. I played the part of the oblivious, slightly pathetic husband she thought I was. All the while, I gathered my arsenal. I hired the best private investigator in Chicago. He got me everything. Photos of them kissing outside a hotel on the Gold Coast. Videos of them checking into a boutique hotel on North Rush Street. Copies of their private emails, filled with sickening pet names and plans for their future. A future built on the wreckage of 2 families. I discovered they weren't just having an affair. They were embezzling from their law firm, funneling money from client accounts into an offshore entity they planned to run away with. They were not just cheating hearts, they were criminals. This was my checkmate. I set my trap with meticulous care. I consulted with a shark of a divorce lawyer who advised me to wait for the perfect moment. That moment was to be her 40th birthday party. She'd planned a massive celebration at a rented-out ballroom at the Drake Hotel. All her partners, clients, friends, and even her family would be there. It was meant to be her coronation, a celebration of her success. For me, it would be her execution. The night of the party, I stood by her side, smiling for photos, playing the role of the proud husband. She was radiant in a designer dress, soaking in the adoration. Halfway through the evening, I took the stage, ostensibly to give a birthday toast. The room quieted. I raised my glass. To Jessica, I began, my voice steady. She beamed at me. Everyone knows her as a brilliant lawyer, a loving daughter, a loyal friend. I paused, letting the silence stretch. But I know another side of Jessica. The side that enjoys weekend getaways to the peninsula with her married boss, Mark Renshaw. A collective gasp swept through the room. Jessica's face went white. Mark, standing near the bar, looked like he was about to be sick, but I wasn't done. I also know the side that is so brilliant. She and Mark figured out how to embezzle over $2 million from their own firm. I projected the pie. Photos and copies of the bank transfers onto the massive screen behind me. The smiling faces in the room turned to masks of shock and disgust. Jessica's parents stared, horrified. Mark's wife, who I had anonymously invited, let out a strangled cry. So, happy birthday, Jessica, I said, my voice dripping with ice. My gift to you is a divorce, and to the firm, it's a full confession. It's already delivered to your managing partners and the Illinois Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission. And for the Chicago PD waiting outside, it's a detailed record of your financial crimes. Chaos erupted. Jessica stood frozen, her perfect world crashing down around her in a storm of flashing cameras and angry shouts. I didn't stay to watch. I simply placed my wedding ring on the podium, turned, and walked out of the ballroom without a single look back. The life we had built was in ashes, and I was the one who had lit the match. Now, a year later, the house is sold. She was disbarred, convicted, and her family disowned her. I hear Mark's wife took him for everything he had. I never saw Jessica again after that night. Sometimes late at night, I pull up a news article about her conviction, just to look at her mugshot. The radiant smile is gone, replaced by a hollow, haunted emptiness. There's no joy in it, no satisfaction, just a quiet, chilling finality. I won, but I still lost everything. The end.